Are you new to Say Heroes or a returning player and wanting to know what it's like to play an electric blaster in the game? I'm Controlled Chaos, and in this video I'm going to show you how I play my electric blaster. Let's get started. First off, I want to let you guys know that electric attacks have two secondary effects that can happen on the mobs. The first is it will drain endurance on the mobs. It's small amounts that it will drain on every electrical attack. The second is you can cause a shocking effect. And the great thing about this effect is it's shockingly fun because the enemy stands there jittering around like they're dancing and they're stunned that whole entire time, unable to move, attack, or do anything with this electric field around them, which is just hilarious. I want to go over some powers. The powers that I have here are as follows. I took the primaries and the secondaries for electric, which is why it's an electric blaster, but we start off with charged bolts. And in charged bolts, I put 1 accuracy and slotted it with 2 damage slots. Then I took lightning bolt, which is also 1 accuracy, 2 damage slots. Then I did ball of lightning, 1 accuracy, 2 damage slots. Then I did short circuit. And this one's a really good one and important for the build because what it does is it drains a lot of endurance from the enemy. So I want to make sure that this one hit hard. I slotted it with 3 accuracies and 3 endurance modifiers. Not endurance reduction, but endurance modifiers. Then I took Zap, which is your sniper ability. 1 slot in accuracy, 2 in damage. Then Tesla Cage. I wanted to make sure that the hold would land. So I did 3 accuracies and 3 holds so it would last a long time. Then you do get a pet called the Voltic Sentinel. 1 accuracy, 1 damage. Then Thunder Blast. This is your big heavy blast. 1 accuracy, 2 damage. Then I did Charge Up, which all I did was a hit buff when I needed is when I pop this power because it's a short-term boost to your hit. Then for the secondary, I took Electric Fence. And Electric Fence, all it does is it roots the enemy. They can still hit you from range and attack, but they can't move. So I saw it with 1 accuracy and 3 immobilizes. Then I took Charged Brawl, which is a melee attack, 1 accuracy, 2 damage. Havoc Punch, another melee attack, 1 accuracy, 2 damage. Thunder Strike, a big hit on doing damage and for melee, and it is 1 accuracy, 2 damage. Then Dynamo puts an electric field down at your feet so it does damage. I did accuracy of 1, damage of 2. Then Power Sink. This is the second power that draws a lot of endurance from the enemy. I did 3 endurance reductions and 3 endurance modifications. You stack this with the short circuit and you can drain most mobs of their endurance, which means they are not going to attack you, which lets you reign free on everyone. But it's in an area of effect around you, so it's not a long distance thing. So you have to jump into the middle of the group. And I always assign these to keys that I can quickly hit and have memorized. So, and they're right next to each other, so I can go bam, bam, and get these off. So that when I'm in that group after I've hit those 2 abilities, I'm not getting attacked. Then I took Force of Thunder. I did 2 accuracies and 2 endurance reductions. Then I did Shocking Grasp, which is also another melee one. I did 3 accuracies and 3 holds because I want that hold to stick and last for a long time. Then Build Up is another 2-hit buff that you can choose. Now, I'm going to go on to some other abilities. For the Inherent Fitness, I did 3 slots of health and 3 slots in stamina for healing, and then endurance modifications for the stamina. I took Flight because I wanted the character to fly around, but you can choose wherever you want. I didn't slot anything in this because it's not that important. Then I took an epic pool power of Electric Mastery. I took Static Discharge, which is a cone attack in front of you range. I saw it with 1 accuracy, 2 damages. Then I took Charge Armor to give more survivability, and that is 3 endurance reductions and then 3 of the resist damage. Then I also took EMP Pulse. This is another one that does a lot of endurance drain, so that if you get in those big groups and Power Sync and Short Circuit in themselves do not drain the endurance off of the mobs, you can use this ability to make sure it happens. 3 accuracies and 3 endurance modifications is what I chose. Now, normally when I'm playing tactics, especially starting out early levels, you want to do hit and run tactics. You want to make sure that you have electric fence that you primarily choose first in the secondaries. And that way you can hold a mob and root them and then do your range attacks, and if they get close, use a few of those melee attacks. Then as you grow in level and you start getting Short Circuit, that's when you really start to come into your power. You're able to drain half of their endurance away, and your attacks are going to drain just a little bit more, but because you're not putting endurance modifiers on them, it's not going to drain as much. So you still want to be careful. You still want to be doing hit and run tactics and watching your health. But once you get Power Sync, that's when the game changes in your favor. Once you have Power Sync and Short Circuit, that's when you can really jump in there and start messing things up. Especially when you get Tesla Cage and you get that Shocking Grasp and you get more holds, you control and dominate the field. But it takes a while to get there. You have to be patient. And then with the EMP Pulse, you can really own bosses with this. I mean, insanely good, which is why I put the accuracies on there and so many endurance modifications on these. You want to drain with those 3 powers of Short Circuit, Power Sync, and EMP or EM Pulse. You want to drain as much endurance from them as possible, because as you know, when you run out of endurance, you can't attack. That same thing happens with the enemy. Once they are out of endurance, they cannot attack. They will just stand there and look at you as you beat them down, which is why this is a killer build to have, and why I took Electric Mastery, so that you can drain any mob of their endurance and you survive. You are not a tank, but with these abilities of being able to drain the endurance, you can be a tank as long as nothing is out of the range when you do all this. If something is out of the range of doing all this, you do have some backups though, such as your Tesla Cage and your Shocking Grasp. You can run up, hit someone, and do Tesla Cage on another, and even an Electric Fence on a third, along with Force of Thunder to really root things down and control the battlefield. Those work out great. I have literally drained the endurance of up to 20 mobs at one time. You have to be careful though, and that's the reason where Charge Armor is a bonus. It allows you to be a bit of a tank. You're not as much of a tank as, let's say, a Sentinel, which has a lot of defense and a lot of ranged attacks instead of the melee attacks that you get, but it gives you that little bit of beefiness you need, along with putting in those 3 slots in heal and putting heals in there. It really beefs up your blaster and you're not as paper thin. So I hope you found this guide helpful. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe. Have a great day.